You'll never guess what showed up in the mail today. That's right, it's this guy, Warhammer Quest Cursed City. Now, I would always say don't let that Warhammer name scare you off, as it often does me. This is actually a pretty standard tabletop game, and that's what intrigued me about it. Actually, when the box arrived, for all the hype, I thought it was actually going to be a much bigger box. It's just this, but it's pretty hefty feeling because there's a lot packed inside. They give you a little taste on the back of the box, obviously lots of miniatures. They arrive unpainted. You also have to put them together. That kind of perversely becomes part of the fun. You know, you're not going to just open it up and get going. You have to go through this whole construction process first. At least these are snap-together models. You don't need glue, although you probably do need some glue. And you can see here on the back of the box, it's tiles, it's monsters, there's cards, there's dice, pretty much everything you expect from a nice high-end tabletop game. So I'm going to pop this guy open. Let's see what's inside the box. I've watched a few previews, I've looked at the website, but you still don't get a real sense of it until you actually open the box up. I just did a Zombicide 2nd Edition unboxing, or at least uncrating, and in there was a ton of stuff in a lot of big boxes. Here everything is really compressed down into this one hefty box. Get the old box cutter out. You know, I see a lot of people do game unboxing videos with these big, you know, kind of very intimidating looking, like street fighting knives. They just pull this giant blade. I don't know where these come from. I've just got a little Stanley, the Fat Max. Okay, let's get that shrink wrap off there. Alright, let's see. Lift up the top of the box. Nothing in there. Oh, look at that. Dudes on sprues. That's what they call these guys, sprues. And on a sprue, you have a lot of parts of a lot of different figures, and they're all numbered. Like, here's number 38. Here's part number 19. So you have to go through the instruction book and figure out what parts you put together. So as far as I can tell, all of the gray sprues are bad guys and monsters and enemies of some kind. Oh, here's a really cool one. This guy gets his own sprue. That is awesome looking. And then you have in more of a light tan, these are your heroes. And this is a fantasy-based game, not sci-fi, not post-apocalyptic. So these are, I guess they're almost steampunky in a way, but with more of a fantasy bent. Let's see. Got a big blank piece of paper here. Not blank, it's got a little design on this side. I don't know what that's exactly for. It's got a barcode on it. Really thick. Okay, thanks for that. And then actually the rest of the box is pretty empty overall. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here, but it's not filled up. Got the rule book, obviously, 3 books. I can see that because they're sealed in there. All right, let's pop it open and see what they are. What the heck? Read this first. Rule book. Okay. Ulfenkarn in Peril Quest book. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that right. And do not open until the final assault decapitation journey has been completed. Well, that's a little bit of a spoiler there because now I know there's a decapitation journey. And isn't the real decapitation journey the friends we made along the way? War Scrolls. Let's see. I think these are for using these characters in tabletop battling, which is the more traditional Warhammer style. And let's see. No glue required. Oh, this must be the instructions. This must be the instructions for putting all the parts together of the different figures. They got all the sprues mapped out. Alright, this seems pretty straightforward. Now, I really like these guys on the back here that I think are different kinds of, markers that mark different things on the board. These hanging skeletons, I like those a lot. Alright, great. All these fairly anonymous looking bases. More bases in a slightly different kind of bag. One big base in no bag. Ooh, dice. Bag of dice, and there's different kinds, and I remember from seeing some of the previews, some of them are your dice, some of them are shared dice, some of them are attack dice. Cards. Again, Warhammer, it really isn't very card-oriented, but there's a bunch here. Some additional, errata. So these are last-minute changes. You know what? When you got a rule book, sometimes you have some last-minute changes. These are all about putting together the different miniatures. So a couple of changes there. An ad for the Warhammer Quest Cursed City novel. Listen, as an author, as a book guy, I appreciate this. Much as I've never read a Star Wars book, I've never read an Arkham Horror novel, I'm probably not going to read the Warhammer tie-in novel. And here are all the tiles and other things that you punch out. Very cool. Oh, this is nice. Okay. A whole bunch of Ziploc bags for putting all the parts in, all the tokens and things like that. I'm sure I'm going to come up with a better way to put all this together. I'm a big fan of box organizers. I'll go and design something and make it on the laser cutter or some little token holders and make them on a 3D printer. I find the organizing and coming up with storage solutions almost more engaging than the game itself sometimes. I really get into that. So before I even get into the actual game, even before I start punching out the tiles and the tokens, I'm going to have to get to work putting together all of the game characters. That kind of gets you all set up for the game. You have to spend some time putting things together before you can actually start playing. It's a very opposite effect to something like a video game where you just turn it on and you're ready to go immediately. And I think that's one of the things that draws people to tabletop games and board games right now. It's a chance to take a break from that instant gratification, very active screen projecting at you style of gaming. And in this case, it takes it to an even another extreme where besides just reading the rule book and setting up the game board, you actually have to construct a lot of the components. I'm looking forward to it because it's something different, especially for me, and hopefully we'll check back in and see how the Cursed City is doing.